Hello, my friends. It's your boy, Garrett J. White, the founder of Wake Up Warrior and fired CEO of DKW Styling.
You're out.
Danielle has fired me as a CEO.
You know why?
You need to talk into that microphone.
Do you know why I fired you?
Why have I been fired as CEO of DKW Styling?
Because I feel like you have slowly been exiting, and I'm slowly, coming back in the mix. And then you make decisions in my business that I've been there and you haven't been there. And I'm like, excuse me. I'm sorry, but I'm putting in an extra 2-3 days a week of time and energy and stress with this. You're not going to make these crucial decisions anymore. You're fired.
Okay. So my new position is man whore.
Well, no, and I think that in the past so if you don't know, I own a hair extension business called Natural Beauty Rose. We have an education company called Big Money Stylist, which is the business marketing and sales of Natural Beauty Rose. And I a couple years ago, I was stressed and I needed more teams and implementation. And I was like, Garrett, you're on it. Because I kept trying to hire people that weren't getting it done, and then Garrett would come in and he'd give me advice on how it could get done, and I finally got to this place in our marriage, and I was like, what if I hire you? I can't think of anybody else that I would want me I'm always asking you for help anyways. Can you just take this on? And anyways, we had this big long conversation, and you were kind of like, all right, if I'm on it, you can't argue my decisions I make. You can't, we're going for it. We're doing it. So, the last probably couple years, I kind of, was organizing my salon. I also own a salon in Laguna Beach, and I was in the process of creating a hand-dyed hairline, and I just had a lot of shit going on. So, he was helping me. His teams are helping me, and everybody's in the mix. And then, we had a lot of stuff, blow up this last year, with both of my education and inside of my salon, and I'm like, fuck, I need to get back in. So I realized I was kind of too distant. I was like, okay, I'm not quite there yet. I need to get back in. And I was still doing hair and stuff and doing all that, but I felt like there was decisions being made that I was I would never ever do that in my business. And he's like, cool, it's not your business. And I was like, ah! So I've been slowly getting back in, but knowing for me getting back into, because we have teams, there wasn't the same stress level as I was trying to do everything. Do you know what I mean? So it's I'm jumping back into kind of.
So are you the CEO?
I'm jumping back in.
You're becoming the CEO?
I'm the CEO, yeah.
You're the CEO.
I'm the CEO. But
You're going to be CEO.
Yeah, but but here's the thing is you were like, okay.
Chief Entertainment Officer?
That's not really what it means.
CEO.
Chief
Entertainment Officer.
It does not entertainment.
So you're going to really step in.
I feel like I already have, and you've been stepping out. But it's been good. I feel like I'm seeing things that I'm wow, that's what we're doing. Cool, that's going to change. And it's I think it'll be good. I think
you're emotionally ready to do this. Because you're talking a big fucking game right now.
No, I'm way emotionally ready to do this. I think the problem is in the past, literally, I was overwhelmed trying to do every little detail. And if you're a business owner and you're trying to create massive momentum in your business, you cannot do it all. I can't, I physically can't. I can't do all the marketing. I can't do the videos. I can't organize. I can't organize all the little detailed shits for events and I mean, I even had, hairstylists helping me organize my small classes, and that felt so nice to relieve some of that pressure. And then it was okay, we need more help. But I was still, I don't know if you remember back, but when we started BMS and you weren't fully in it yet, I would still somebody would set up the details, but I was still training the whole day, and I'm sure you can appreciate how exhausting that is.
Yeah.
So to have you would come in and train from 3 to 6, but I'd come in from 8 to 3, and then I was just so grateful to be done at 3 and be oh, I don't have to train. It's just a lot of energies to not entertain, but it is kind of entertain and educate.
I know. I run this thing called Warrior Week.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
4.5 days,
but now,
18 hours a day.
But now I feel
and I trained it by myself for the first 29.
I didn't have people that could help me train with me. You had Sam kind of stepped in with Warrior and started helping.
After 29 Warrior Weeks.
Right, but I'm just saying, the person that I was hoping was gonna be my Danielle it was such a fight. She couldn't do it. She couldn't train like I could. And even last year was manifestation of that. It didn't work out. It exploded. She left. She did her own thing. And now we have Ani, who's now I'm okay, you can keep up with this game. You're committed, you're invested. And so now it's okay, I can come back in knowing that I don't emotionally have to do even those long days of training anymore. Do you know what I mean? I can come in and just be there for part of it, but I still want to be involved in making executive decisions. So anyways, I'm jumping back in. So
you're going to be a CEO.
And I think it's going to be healthy for our marriage because we the thing is we'd end up fighting. I'd be like, why are we doing this? And you're like, because I'm the fucking CEO. And I'd be like, I don't want no. And now I think it's kind of I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good. We'll give it a shot. I'm jumping in.
Well, I mean, the reality for me is like I have already got 4 other companies, and inside of the stress that I deal with in those worlds, most of my teams are the ones that run the backside support of making sure that BMS and the salon continue to work. And that stress all leans on me. And then I come home after working from my full-time game with my 4 companies, only to end up having to problem solve inside of what is quote unquote your companies.
I think what's hard too.
And so now I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't even want to talk about this right now. It's a Saturday. I don't give a fuck about your problems. I've already dealt with a shitload of problems
like
this week.
It's hard to like turn it off. And so you even said to me, you're like, I want a weekend off. I want a break. But then you're like, I got to do this. What you said to me today, you're like, oh, I got to do this podcast and I got to do this. And I was like, I thought you wanted a day off.
No, I want a day off.
I know. You said I want a day off from
I don't
your shit.
I don't want to deal with your shit.
And that's what I realize is entrepreneurs and people,
I'll deal with my shit. I just don't want to deal with your shit.
Totally. Because it's like you can manage that. You have like the endurance for that. You have the threshold for that. Like, you know, there's shit that needs to be done. It's stressful, but it's like, it's doable because it's like your passion. And so that's one thing with Garrett. He was like, listen, and that was frustrating for me because I'm like, I want to utilize your teams, and because I can't do it alone, I can be the passionate one behind it. So that's where like
I just had an idea.
Okay.
So all your events can be run by Sage. Sage is an event management company, and they run all the events for 3 individuals, including ClickFunnels.
I would love to not have your team run it because you know what?
Sage would run it.
Every time we have every time we have an event, like, it's awesome, but I'm always like, why do we need Danielle? I don't need somebody to bring me chocolate at the snap of the finger. I mean, it's nice. Like, don't get me wrong. I like the, like, I like that they literally, like, walk you up to your car, walk you in. We go back to the room where all the TVs are up for the events, and there's, like, 17 guys. And I'm like, do we need 17 guys? Does every guy from Warrior need to be here? No, I'm not kidding you.
You wait. You think you're going to hire an event company and replace the entire team?
You just said I was. You just said.
And you're going to have 17 people from Sage, just not from Warrior.
Okay, but be honest.
Be honest with what?
Be honest. Like, does Geyer, Bendarsky, like,
yes.
Does every single member of Warrior need to be there to make it solid?
It's not every single member of Warrior.
But then why do places
How do you think a 500-person event happens? Do you think they just snap their fingers and magically screens fall up and all the chairs are lined up?
Here was my question.
All the technology.
Here was my question.
The 9 cameras.
Don't be rude to me. Here's my question. So we rented out this huge event space, and they supply a lot of, like, tech support. And when I went back there, a lot of the times the guys weren't really doing anything. So I was just wondering, if you go to a venue where they supply a lot of the equipment.
Are you talking about AV Irvine?
Yes. So
it was the very first time we'd run an event there.
I know, but that's what I'm asking you. If you go to a place where they say, hey, we have our own tech support, hey, we have our own, because when you do it at hotels, like, you got to bring all that shit in. They don't supply it for you. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, we did it in a hotel in the past, but now doing it, say, specifically at AV Irvine, where they say they have all that, do you need as many guys from Warrior, or could you just have, like, 2 that make sure that, like...
Well, it's going to be really simple. We're going to have 0, including me. It's going to be Sage. Sage is your new company.
You still didn't answer my question.
I have answered your question.
No, you didn't.
To run an event, number one, you're clueless to what it takes to run an event. You're very aware and powerful at running an 8 to 10 person event. Running anything above that, you're clueless.
That's why I was asking.
Because you literally show up several hours after the event started like a princess in ballet while my teams escort you to the back of the stage to put on a microphone, of which you slept in and walked around our neighborhood while the teams had been working the entire night.
And you went surfing the same morning and drove with me.
And I built all of these teams.
I'm not trying to start an argument with you. I'm specifically asking, like, okay, does everybody, if I were to hire Sage or whatever, and I'm doing it at AV Irvine, do you actually need that many people to have an event? I mean, you can call me a princess all day long,
let's
but
talk
I
about
was
what
just
happened.
Saying specifically, like, hey, do I need that? If we're going our separate ways and we're hiring separate teams for each of our businesses,
how many people do you think are there? How many people? You said 17. Let's count how many there were.
Oh my God! Will
Trevor,
you get over your triggers
Jeff,
right now?
Nicole,
you just still didn't answer
Geyer,
my question.
Bendarsky.
Are you gonna answer my question?
Zach,
Are you gonna answer my
question? Johan. Who else do we have? Trevor. There's 8. That's 8 people.
Okay, so obviously I was exaggerating, but are you still avoiding the question?
I'm not avoiding the question. You said, do you need 17 people? And I said, no, because we don't need 17 because we didn't have 17 people there.
But if you have AV Irvine with a team, how
AV
many,
Irvine takes
what do
care
they recommend?
of AV Irvine takes care of that big-ass TV. That's it.
And then what?
And then you can get them to bring in food and cater if you'd like. Great. You can do that. You can have them do some stuff there. They can put out some tables for you.
Like thinking, like,
they don't run check-in. They don't handle.
Right.
They don't have anything else. Yeah, you could probably get. Listen, you could go and have you could have an event, all the BMS events at your salon right now.
But even with like my own teams, I could be
10
like,
people.
hey, I'm paying you guys. You're running check-in and this and this and this.
Exactly. What did you say? You'd pull your whole team in and make them work. Now that is a great solution. Because guess what currently happens? All my core team gets pulled in to run these events.
Right.
I like where this is going.
Right.
Continue down this path because this is great.
That's great. We can fight about this all
We're
day
not
long.
fighting. We're not fighting.
Okay.
We're having a conversation that's got some resolution.
Is he triggered? Is he not understanding the question?
No, I understand the question completely. You just gave us a magical answer. Your whole team from the salon comes in to run it.
I said, should I have people come in and do registration and
yes.
check in?
Have your concierge low, have Crystal, have your artists, your assistants.
I can see this is heated. So what I'll do is I'm going to ask Jeff, like, realistically, like, or I'll ask Ani because she would know who do we need for check-in and what other logistics may we need, and I'll figure it out.
I like it. So you're going to take on your own event this year, the big one.
You already said you're not going to be there.
I know. You're going to take it on then.
I already committed to taking it on
so
after
you are
having a baby. I'm going to strap my baby to my chest and be like, hello, me and Isla are here. We're here to educate because that's how hardcore I am.
I like it.
I literally just push this baby out. She's now in a Bjorn on my chest, and you're going to get some amazing ass education right now.
I like it. Okay, well, then it's final. Let's shake on it. Shake hands. We're committing to this. You're going to use your team, not mine, to run your BMS events. Shake on it. Let's go. You ready? Let's commit right now. This is a big commitment.
I'm not shaking anything.
Exactly. Not committed. Not committed. Let me tell you what's going to happen with your little coffee-wearing artists. They're going to fucking melt under the first wave of heat in this event. I'm not going to shake hands
and sign a contract when I don't know the details.
Why is shaking a hand a contract?
Well, you're like, let's shake hands like it's like
shake hands like
nailed
what?
in
You
blood.
said
should we spit on
nailed
it and
in
shake?
blood.
Is that like, should we
You're
spit
such
first?
an exaggerator.
Let's spit first and shake, because then it's like super concrete. And then you could be
Exaggerator.
like, remember that one time on a podcast and we spit and shook hands? You owe me. And I'm going to be like, yeah, no.
I would love you to spit on your hand. I just don't want you to shake on it. You could go somewhere else with it, though.
That's not enough spit, so it's not sex week, Garrett. I thought we were going to talk about gratitude. We are.
I'm grateful for you right now. I am super grateful for this conversation because literally you've just
triggered the shit out of you.
You've given me permission and you've taken it on yourself. I pushed you a little bit. Are you CEO? And you literally took it on.
So
you took it on. You volunteered your own teams. And we agreed that you're going to talk to Sage.
I said, what are the logistics of running an event?
And then you made the comment, I'll just have my teams. And I was like, that is all I've been looking for. That's fantastic. Because you got a team of like 9. They're fantastic. Ani, Crystal, Lo, Ian, Amanda.
I could do that, but
Jackie,
I'm not going to commit to something
Jamie.
if I don't know the details.
There's 7 right there. You got 7 people.
I know, and I think you had 6 too many. So I'll find out the details.
Okay, good. Well, I only had 7. I'm not sure how one person was going to run a 300-person event.
That's fine. If AV Irvine says they offer X, Y, and Z, and I ask Ani, hey, what else do we need to get this event started? And I find out how many people we need for it. I am confident that I could hire out 7 people.
Okay, I like it. We'll shake on it. Let's go. As long as they're not Warrior team members.
Here's the other thing, too.
I'm very excited about this.
The other thing,
I am super fucking excited about this.
Let me tell you,
I feel free already.
So when I
feel like a fat guy that lost 50 pounds overnight.
Let me tell you another thing, too,
I feel like a meth addict who stopped using drugs.
2 people on my team, and somehow they just end up going and working for Warrior because he's a bigger company and he pays
You did not
more.
hire them.
Yes, I did.
Who? Tell them. Runar, you did not hire.
Yes, I did.
Runar was writing emails for you.
No,
and you were paying him
wasn't.
He did not work for you full time. You contracted him to write emails.
I did contract him out for me. And
he was writing some emails. And what does he do for you now?
No, so he redid my entire funnel and my blogs, and he pitched to me, hey, if you want to pay me this amount per month, this is a service I offer.
It was like $4,000 a month.
And it was like managing the blog and emails.
He did not work for you.
I don't care. I contracted him out. And then
contracted
he was like, I work for Garrett now. I can't be contracted out for you. And I was like, motherfucker.
He got a full-time job.
Okay.
And he was working for me as a contractor before he did work for you. The only reason you knew him was because of us.
It doesn't matter. You tell me to hire people else, so I do, and then you take them back, and then you're like, hire your own team.
Listen,
and I'm like,
you only have 2 examples for this. One is Danielle, And Daniel was working with us in contract work for a year and a half before you.
I contracted him out after.
So you cheated on me, going behind my back, finding my contractors and taking them to your teams, and all I did was outbid you. So why don't you spend more?
Because you have a bigger company. That would be a stupid business decision to outbid you.
Well, they've got to make good business decisions for their own lives and their own families. They can't sit around and collect nickels.
Well, if I find another person I contract out, are you gonna come in and offer them a better deal?
I don't know. If they're great at what they do, I probably will.
You might. Stupid asshole.
All right.
Can you see how it's tough for me to win? Do it on your own. Okay.
Oh,
he's really good. I'll take him on full time.
You're such a baby. You're acting like
a baby.
Such a baby.
You're a baby.
All right. So let's have a drink and figure out what the fuck this show's going.
It's going nowhere.
It's not going anywhere. It is going somewhere. I'll tell you where it's going. You know where it's going? It's going to gratitude. Do you know why it's going to gratitude?
It's going to gratitude because some your head might explode. Like,
no, my head. You keep making all these stories about somehow where my mind is.
You're getting to that edge.
You're getting to that edge.
No, you're getting to that edge where
you're
it's
getting
like
to
funny.
that edge where I'm going to give it to you.
When you're like with your spouse and it's funny, and then all of a sudden it gets real serious real quick, and you're like, oh, that wasn't funny anymore. Yeah, that's where we're at. Well,
good. We danced the line, and that's why I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the fact that you've decided to use your entire team to run your own events. I'm excited for this. This is what I'm grateful for. So I'm going to do a grateful stack about this right now. So we have a daughter, and she is amazing.
People don't know what the stack is. The stack's pretty cool. You should tell them about it.
The stack is a series of questions, but there are 5 different versions of this. And in July, this will be available to Marketplace at attackwiththestack.com.
Oh, well?
I have a book coming out called Attack with the Stack. We also have a software that is being built that will be done in May, and then we will launch it in July to the public. Called the Attack with Stack, which is a support tool of this. But I'm gonna give an example of a text that I sent my daughter. I'm going to read it right here, and it really did alter the way that I was experiencing myself as a father with her. So I'm gonna send you a text.
So well, basically the stack. There's happy stack, gratitude stack, angry stack, mega stack, and Garrett created the stack like 2 years ago, probably a little over 2 years ago.
3.
Because
we're now almost 3 years from when I was originally testing it.
It was like a way to
deal with my fucking rage.
Yeah,
that's how it started.
But you got to share the story of I think the story's kind of funny now, but in the moment I didn't. And we were actually at the same restaurant that you very first shared a stack with me. Do you remember?
Surf and Sand.
Yes, and we were talking
splashes.
Yes, but we were talking.
We were sitting probably in the same seat we were in tonight.
That's so funny. I just think about it tonight.
That night didn't end up well.
No, but you got to tell them why.
Well, I started reading the stack to her, but the stack started out. It was a mega stack,
okay,
which means it starts out with release the rage.
How it starts out.
It pretty much starts out like Danielle's a fucking bitch and I hate her. Like it was like very angry.
And he's like smiling.
And
he's
I'm smiling reading this.
And I'm like, I need sir, can I get another cocktail? Like I wasn't pregnant at the time, but and I'm like trying to because he's smiling, so I'm trying to
So, let me back up real quick and help you understand what this tool is. So, one of the challenges that men have is the inability to express emotion, right? So, what ends up happening is men suppress emotion. They stuff it, they drink, they smoke, they do whatever, or they just don't fucking talk, right? Because society for 100 years and the systematic sedation of men, which you can learn more about inside the Warrior Book at warriorbook.com. But this process over 100 years ago started where men were literally taught and trained and educated to not express feeling. And so in this place, then, I train men. This is what I've done for 7 years. We've been running Wake Up Warrior since 2012, and we've been training tens of thousands of men around the globe on the conversation of what we call the Warrior's Way. And inside the Warrior's Way, one of the premise of this is to be able to get a man to his truth, right? Which is to help a man. Well, we found out the tools we're using work with women too, and we've had hundreds of women use these tools over the last year as we've released them inside of Big Money Styles as well as Warrior Woman events that we did last year. But the whole point of this is to be able to ask yourself a series of questions that will allow you to release the energy that you're feeling. If you're angry, if you're fucking raging, you get to release it. If you're angry or triggered or irritated, you can release it. If you're happy, you get to release it. And gratitude's a little bit different because it slows you down and requires you to look back. So nonetheless, like I have this tool that we've been using, and thousands of these stacks are done every single day by students inside of our programs. And it's very powerful. Like arguably the most powerful thing that's ever come out of anything I've ever been part of. Like anything I've been part of creating or being part of the co-creation of. This tool, the stack, we have couples doing it, individuals doing it. It is a life fucking saver.
I noticed a huge change in you and team members when they use it. Like it literally just like puts perspective on things.
Mm-hmm. You've done 2.
I've done 2.
2 stacks. Well done. High five. 1, 2. No? No 5s? All right. Well, I'm still grateful for you. And your heart emoji for it. So anyways, I have one of the things I released was I realized that we were not experiencing gratitude a ton. And so a happy stack was one that was born out of like the first 2 years, we only did mega stacks and angry stacks. And that was really good for guys. Then we launched happy stack because once we got rid of a lot of this anger and rage, we realized that we were actually happy sometimes, but we only had angry and mega stacks. So then we went to the happy stack, and that was great. And then we went and evolved into the gratitude stack, which was really about saying, okay, I'm going to deliberately pause and I'm going to judo a situation. So I had some situations where I was getting irritated at my daughter. And instead of doing an angry or mega stack on her, I did a gratitude stack, and here's what it was. Here we go. Domain. Let's see. Well done, Garrett. This is so the way we do these. You're with an interactive AI bot, so an artificial intelligence that's literally communicating back and forth with you. So the answers you give, it questions you back based upon how you answer. It engages with you throughout the process, and it feels like you're having a texting conversation inside of our software. So it's very powerful. It literally feels like you're having a conversation with your wife or your husband or whoever it is. So then at the very end, it sends you a revelation, and I copy this revelation. I send it to people that I've done the stack on every day when I do these gratitude stacks. So I did one on Bailey, our 12-year-old, after a night of being just another fury of issues on Sunday night. And I launched it and I said, Bailey came down and it says, well done, Garrett. That was a great gratitude stack. I'm stoked we went through the process together. Here's a summary of today's stack. Domain. So we select between body, being, balance, or business. And this one was obviously balance. And then the whole game of stacking is about dealing with your stories.
Is there a kid stack, like something simple that kids can do?
No, we haven't done that yet. We'll eventually, I'm sure, evolve to a kid stack, but we haven't got there.
Well, think about like kids. Like sometimes they're going through a lot and they don't know how to feel about their emotions. Like
100%.
They need this stuff. It'd be
100%.
It'd be a really good teaching tool.
We spent 7 years just trying to help guys. Now we've got that part figured out, and we help some ladies. We'll eventually get there, I think, with the kids. So the original story, Bailey is an elite creator, and whatever she focuses on, she dominates. The lesson learned. You can't access or assess the value of an asset until it has matured. Now, I was referencing asset as Bailey. And then I said, here are the facts. I love my daughter. She is so special and so talented. I watched her on stage from 2017 at Funnel Hacking Live for 5 minutes with a microphone speak more powerfully than 99% of the adults I know. She crushed it. I showed the video to her also. She watched it and was shocked. She looked at me and said, quote, I was really good, Dad, quote, close quote. I told you. I told her, I agree. Here's the bottom line. My daughter has so many powerful traits and characteristics. The most powerful, when she commits to something, there's only one place for her, being the best. She is just like her mother. Doesn't commit to much, but when she does, game over. I love my daughter no matter what. The end. Have a great rest of your day. Garrett. I'll check in with you again tomorrow. Fist bump, dark heart, fire, GJW. So, like, this is a revelation comes through. My daughter sends me a bunch of heart emojis. So I send that on the first day. Then Tuesday, I send her another gratitude stack. And I say, well done, Garrett. That was a great gratitude stack. I'm stoked we went through this process together. Here's a summary of today's stack. Domain was balance. The original story. Bailey's handling the game of life at a young age with commitment and consistency and is figuring out how to be more powerful every day. Desires and actions. I want to hug her and tell her I'm proud of her. I want to celebrate with her victories and guide her to learn in her defeats. I want to love her and support her to become all that she desires to become. I want to be a father that is an example of growing and struggling, not a father that demands perfection. Lesson. Growing up is hard work, and every day we win, and we learn how to grow up just a little bit more. Revelation. Bailey shared with me the pure joy of smashing her success with track yesterday. I'm so happy for her. I remember my track days and how much fun they were. She's such an amazing athlete. Volleyball, basketball, track, jiu-jitsu, surfing. Whatever sport she has chosen, she dominates. That is the power of my daughter. She's a lethal weapon when she chooses to be. Today, she chose to sleep in and sleep through her alarms. I get it. And instead of getting angry, I'm just smiling because my daughter is doing an amazing job of growing up. 6th grade is hard work. The end. Have a great rest of your day. So I send these stacks to my daughter. On the second day I send this stack to my daughter, she's on the way to school. She said, Dad, I didn't have time to read your stack yet. I'm going to read it when I'm at school. So then she sends me heart emojis later in the day, and then I send her one a third day in a row. I said, well done, Garrett. That was a great gratitude stack. I'm stoked we went through this process together. Here's a summary of today's stack. Now, remember, this summary is a summary of a series of questions that you're asked, that you're really going into your own revelation and discovering inside your own feelings as a parent, which honestly, as a parent, I'm coming to find more and more and more that, like, if I don't keep my shit in check, there's no way for my children to keep their shit in check.
That's a tricky thing.
I'm going to read this last gratitude stack, and then you're going to give us some feedback on all this. Well done, Garrett. That was a great gratitude stack. I'm stoked we went through this process together. Here's a summary of today's stack. Domain balance. Original story. Bailey's a strong, committed young woman who is willing to take a stand. Desires and actions. I want to acknowledge her strength and let her know I see it. I want to encourage her to continue to take a stand and to guide her on the power of influence. I want to acknowledge that she is a leader and will always be a leader her entire life. I want to hug her and tell her I know, and tell her I love, and let her know I love her no matter what. Lesson. I can focus on my daughter's strengths or I can focus on her weaknesses, but in the end, they are both the same coin. Bailey. Revelation. Bailey. This time I wrote it as more like a letter to her. So, Bailey, you are a powerful young woman. You have a fire and intensity that is unique and exciting. Your ability to lead your friends, the way you dealt with the issues with Kelsey last year, and the powerful way in which you lead your sister are inspiring. I know at times me and Mom battle with you over this gift you have, but know this. I believe in you. I see you. And I love your strong will and your commitment to take a stand for what you want, no matter what, and with anyone. This is going to be a massive strength for you in your life, and it already has been. Love you no matter what. Dad. Have a great rest of your day, Garrett. I'll check in with you again tomorrow. Fist bump, black heart, fire, GJW, which these are just the symbols that show up. So this completely altered Bailey. Like, I tested it just to see what would happen. And like, for the first 3 days, at least with me, I don't know how she was acting with you. Like, it was a totally different morning experience. Totally different routine, but it was
softens her a little bit.
And I think how often I was sending these to Parker too, and Parker, I had him come up on stage and share about it, and he was very emotional about it. And he said he's like, I've often felt invisible with you, Dad, and like I don't know how I'm doing. And so sending these gratitude stacks to my children as part of the Core 4 game has been super powerful this week. I sent you a few gratitude stacks. I don't know how you felt about them. Yeah, I sent one to you of you.
I don't think you did.
I did. Let me go to it. I'll read it right here.
No, you just sent me the ones you sent to Bailey.
No, I sent one directly to you about you. I'm going to show it to you.
I think the bottom line is like when you're stressed and like when, like, I don't know, for me, even if I didn't do a gratitude stack, there's some mornings like the stress of life, family, business, whatever it is, like you just feel like such like in a dark place, and it's hard to snap out of that. And you start to see the world through kind of a negative lens. And it really, like, it doesn't just, like, affect you. You have to think if you're running companies, you have a family, like the trifecta it has on everybody around you. And so I think the best way to snap out of it is, like, yeah, we both like working out, and that kind of gets some endorphins and whatnot. But I think if you, like, literally take a step back and think, like, oh my God, look where we're at. Look at, like, the good moments. I think you have this sense of, like, appreciation. And literally, like, for me, I feel like my whole countenance changed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like anything that felt sort of stressful or like, everybody's driving me crazy or whatever kind of melts. And it all of a sudden just seems like it's not that big of a deal. Like, you're like, what am I complaining about? Like, it literally puts life in such a different light and perspective on things. And it's just like, and when you're in that space, like, you physically feel like you're glowing, and it's hard for anybody to get inside your bubble when you're like that. When people can get inside your brain or your bubble is when you're feeling negative. So for me, I think of it as like gratitude is literally like a protective shield of light around me. And I'm like, there's nothing you can say right now that's going to knock me down right now. You feel more powerful when you have that joy and that outlook on life and just feeling gratitude. So I think of gratitude as just being like a little shield. And I would imagine if, like, you can put that perspective with kids and share that with kids, it probably in a way makes them feel more powerful. You know, for all we know, like, she was feeling like that and then went in and, like, smashed her day in track, you know, and she didn't maybe pay attention to the little things of, like, God, why do I feel so unstoppable today? Yep. You know, but then goes in and is just like, everybody's, God, Bailey, you're on fire. And it's just because she had that experience with you. So you like little things, and I always say this, like, little things and consistencies throughout your day, you never know, like, it starts to have such a big impact. And I know for me, like, it's so hard with her being in 6th grade because she's like hormones.
Very difficult.
She's like me, but she's more vocal like Garrett. Like plus she's a girl, so I'm just like I'm a pretty patient person. But then when you hit me far enough over the ledge, I'm like, bah! I'm like I don't even know what to do, you know. And so I have to like always remind myself like, all right, you're the adult, you're the adult, you're the adult, and try to like not focus on like this hormonal time for her, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Like literally, like even tonight, like we got in this big argument. Can I have friends over? And we're like, no. We're on date night. She still texts me. So mom, can I have friends over? And I almost like started laughing. I was like, is she serious? Like she's serious. Like we literally got in an argument. It said like, if you ask again, we're taking your phone away. And then you ask again, like, mom.
It's weird though because I get the persistency that she has.
Yeah, you're kind of like good for you for being persistent, but then you're like, no.
If you put her into sales, like I look at it from a business frame.
That's
I'm like,
thing,
if she was
though.
persistent as fucking like this in sales, she's gonna make shit a lot of money.
But that's the thing is, I find myself
gonna
like
get fucking
sometimes,
paid big time.
usually her logic's like pretty bad, but sometimes I'll be like, God, that was a really, and I'm sure if you have kids out there, you can like almost appreciate when your kid, you feel like your kid outsmarts you a little,
Yeah.
and you're like, damn, that was a good answer, and you're like.
Yes.
Okay, yes, but it's hard for me because I feel like I don't want to say I'm a pushover, but I realize the reason I say yes is because I like avoid conflict so much in life. And we've had this conversation on one of our last podcasts, how like women tend to be people pleasers, but they're not necessarily people pleasers or conflict avoiders. And I would say I'm super guilty of that. Like oftentimes I give in to my children because I'm like, it's going to create less conflict right now, but in the end, it just bites you in the ass. So, like, being consistent in the long run actually works out better in your favor. And even being a conflict avoider or people pleaser long term doesn't help you in your relationship or anything else. Like, if you're constantly trying to be that people pleaser person, eventually you just, like, blow up. And so the same rule applies with children and discipline and all that good stuff. And I swear that's just how life works. You just keep repeating the same lessons over and over and over until you're like, shit, that applies to everything. So I should probably start doing that.
So I sent you a gratitude stack.
You didn't send me one.
I did. I pulled it up.
Sorry, I got cold and then hot, and I'm hot
I know.
again.
This is a 5.5 months pregnant game you got going on. Now I'm too hot. Now I'm too cold. Now I'm too hot. Now I'm too cold.
Okay.
Now I want a bucket of ice cream.
No.
Okay, here we go. Well done, Garrett. That was a great gratitude stack.
Did you really send me this?
Yes. I sent
Maybe
it to you
I
on
did read it
Tuesday,
then. Did I heart
7:30.
it?
No, you didn't even heart it. I didn't get a heart.
Well, you know what? I sent you something.
I didn't even get a response.
I might not have
Nothing.
seen it, and you know what?
Nope,
That's how I
you saw
felt.
it.
That's
because
how,
I sent you a response about our new nanny, and you responded immediately to that.
well, you know what? That's how I felt when I sent you like this personality test, and you didn't even heart or read.
The personality
or mention
test
it.
wasn't even personal.
I know, but I wanted
You
you to read
copied,
it.
you screenshot some shit.
I know,
and
but
sent
I
it to
spent
me.
a lot of time reading it. Okay, keep
All right,
going.
well, I'm going to read this, and then you
Okay.
can heart it, because I spent a lot of time reading this and writing it. Domain balance, original
I didn't
story.
spend a lot of time reading it. I thought it was cute, and you would appreciate it, and you didn't answer it.
You
That's
sent
really...
it to me in the middle of day one.
You sent me that at 5 a.m.
No,
when
I
I'm
sent
still
you that
sleeping.
at 7:26 a.m.
You know that's in the middle of kid chaos. So
I'm just telling you. And
I'm
then
just
you
telling
sent
you.
me that thing. You sent me that at 3 o'clock in the middle of my first day of a 4-day
it doesn't matter.
event.
You sent me when I was in the middle of kids chaos time. So
Well, it appears we were both
we're
double
both,
fucked.
Yeah. So,
I'm
anyways,
grateful for you.
cool. Keep
Let me
reading.
read you this gratitude stack, and then we're going to wrap this show up. Danielle is an elite human being who handles the game of business, marriage, parenting, and pregnancy with power and grace. Desire and actions. I just want to protect her while she's pregnant and ensure that she has everything she needs. I want to hug her and tell her I love her and how much I love being her partner in life. I want to tell her how inspired I am by her commitment and courage as a woman in all of her roles, from businesswoman to artist to mother to lover to partner. I want her to know I'm ride or die with her, period. Lesson.
Was this a gratitude stat?
It was.
Oh, okay.
A little different than
Well, you
sending
used
me
to
a
send me-
screenshot from astrology.
I'm sorry, but you used to send me just angry stacks, and you'd send me like the last part of the angry stack, and I was like, I don't even know you're
Okay.
mad at me, but
So
I'm glad it
you
ended
didn't even read this.
I don't know if I did.
You
I
didn't.
think
You
I
would
meant
know.
to go back and read it, and I
So
think
you
I
didn't
forgot.
read it. I appreciate you
Well, you still
reframing
didn't
that.
read mine.
Lesson. Marital mutual respect is something it takes a very long time to uncover, but once found is priceless and profound. Revelation. I sit and look at my wife hustling while 5 months pregnant. I'm just inspired. Inspired by the sacrifice it is to be pregnant and have your body do what it does with the little person inside of you that is growing. Inspired by the fact that she can do something I can't, aka make a baby. But of all the things, the one that hits home the most is the fact that she can make the baby, but also continues to smash the shit out of life. I love her. I'm inspired by her. She has become my closest ally in life. It feels so good. The end. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your day. Garrett, I'll check in with you again tomorrow. And a few with screenshots down. Hey, screenshot. Here's the address to the thing on Saturday. Hey, screenshot.
Again,
You're
I
a
was in mom-
hummingbird.
I
from astrology. You're a fucking hummingbird from the zodiac sign.
I was really interested in it. And
I know, but I hear that you screenshotted some shit, and I like wrote out this like heartfelt thing for you, and I got it. I didn't get a heart emoji.
I thought it was a copy from a stack.
It was.
I remember I
it was
saw
a copy
it in the
from
morning.
a stack. It was gratitude stack.
Right,
but you probably didn't know it was gratitude stack. You're used to angry stacks coming to you.
But yeah, but what I'm saying is I think I do remember seeing it in the morning, but I literally was like in the middle of getting kids out the door in the morning.
Probably were at 7:30.
And I was like, oh shit, I'll read that later. And then you can tell after my text after that I was in mom mode because I was like, here's the address of the school thing. Here's the da-da-da-da-da. And I just realized I didn't go back and read it. But I was like, I thought that was cute. You know what's so funny is I notice with you, like, I'll be like waddling down the stairs and I'll just feel like shit. I'll just be like have a hoodie on and I've got my Lululemon leggings on. I'm just my Uggs on and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go eat a Reese's peanut butter cup. Like, that's usually what I'm thinking. And I just look at you and you're just smiling. And I'm like, why are you smiling? Do you feel bad? Like, do you like, but now that makes sense. Like, you're maybe like, oh, good job. Like, maybe, I don't know.
I think you're hot.
You smile at me like, oh,
I think
she's
you're cute. I think it's, I'm inspired. It's amazing. I'm grateful.
Oh.
So we're going to end the show.
No, I don't feel like I have a grateful stack for you, but I did read some astrology reports on you that I thought
Hey,
were
you know
nice.
what? That's your version, and that's okay. We're going to run with it. And I didn't read your zodiac sign thing you sent to me.
And I even asked you at dinner tonight. I'm like, didn't you think that was interesting about
and I didn't even read it.
I know.
So here I am being a hypocrite for you not reading the gratitude stack, but I didn't read the zodiac sign.
Hardy or anything, and I thought, and I actually was like, literally.
Did you feel sad?
No,
You did.
I didn't feel sad. But I remember I was like, I get really weirdly into that stuff at night. Like I just start reading all this shit, and I just like knowing people's personalities, and I don't know. So I found like a new zodiac thing, and I was looking at all my girls and Garrett, and it helps me to like understand people better.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I think that's why I like it, because I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's why they react this way, or that's why I react this way, or whatever it is. But anyways,
I will read it tonight.
I know you're not
come
super
to find out why I'm a hummingbird.
I know you're not super into like astrology and all that kind of stuff, and it's not necessarily astrology. I just like personality stuff.
Right.
So anyway.
So we're going to wrap this lesson with simply this. Gratitude is the ability to look back. The end. Right? Gratitude opens up a few things, and I teach about this inside the new book, Attack with a Stack, coming out in July this year, 2019. But we go through this, and I've seen this happen through business. I've seen it happen with team members. One of the things we require in all of our companies is like everyone is required to fill out a gratitude stack every week on their position in the company and their gratitude for having a job and being part of the team. And on the flip side, we as leadership teams create gratitude stacks about our team members and our employees about why we're so grateful to have them. So we've been doing this for a long time this way, and this was the first time I started using it in daily text. It was the first time I sent Danielle one. But the whole premise of the gratitude stack is the ability to look back. Right? To look back, here's where I am. Let's look back at where we were, and let's be grateful for what is. Right? And the fact is, I think part of why this pregnancy is so much different for me is because I'm just grateful for who you are and grateful for what we've become as a couple. And I think back to my son Parker in my previous marriage, and then Bailey and Ruby with you. Like I've never been present during pregnancy. Like I've never had like a caring. I don't think I've had a caring vibe about me. I think I've had a kind of I isolate.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how to deal with the whole pregnancy thing for a year or two that it takes to kind of go through that.
I think that's probably part of the reason why, I mean, there's going to be 8 years between Ruby and the new baby coming. And I think that like part of the reason I know in the back of my mind is I think I sense, at least with Ruby, like you were isolated. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, I think in the back of my mind, I was like, oh my God, like, is that going to be hard for us? But then I got to this point with our relationship where I was like, no, I need to give us like credit for where we are right now. And like, if we have struggles now, and if we can't like do this pregnancy thing again, then our relationship's not as strong as maybe we think it is. Yeah. And so for me, I was like, well, okay, here we go. And I think
we're doing great.
We're doing good. No, I've noticed you have been way more like, just like I said, like I'll be like walking downstairs and you're just smiling, kind of looking at me, and I know you're thinking like she's cute, and I'm kind of like just wanna.
You feel like shit. And I'm looking at you.
Well,
I'm
and
like,
I just start laughing because I know your energy behind it. And I'm just like, I just want to be like, shut up, like I don't know, I don't know.
I think it's because I think your ass looks great.
No, but this and
I think you just overall your energy, and I love you. So I love looking at you. I love being at you. Like. Excited for the baby, excited for you, excited for all of it.
I think it's like we both kind of like have this moment where we kind of smile and connect, and it's just like we know we're in a good place right now with life
Yeah.
and marriage, and we're like excited for the next chapter instead of like in the past, like,
Stressed.
even with Ruby, I was like, shit, we're having a baby. I don't even know if I like him that much, you know? And it was just like a really kind of scary time for us as a family relationship, like financially, like everything. And now we're just in a different place in life. And so just going on the whole gratitude topic, like when you look back to how maybe it was just this last time, which was like 8 years ago, things are so different. And it's just like cool to be in a different space and puts a different perspective on things. And one thing that I'll leave you guys with on this show is like, think of gratitude, especially with your children, is like when you're in a space of gratitude, nothing can get you down. So use it as like a protective shield for yourself, for your family, for your children, and ultimately to like feel more powerful in life and get to where you need to be in life, just like going into it with that mindset and that attitude. Because I just noticed for me when I'm in that space, like I don't know how to describe it. Like I just kind of feel unstoppable. Like I just feel more powerful, and not in like an egotistical way, or just like I just am like super confident, and I'm like, you can't tear me down right now. Like you can't even ding my shield right now. So kind of like go into that if you're a mom or whatever, like protect your family with that sense of gratitude.
The end. My friends, thanks so much for being here again. You can check out a few other things going on with us by going to dkwstyling.com or head over to warriorbook.com. We also have a new series and a new movie series online right now found at warriorwealth.com. So check all of those out. Thank you so much for being here.
Do I get to say a pitch?
I did. I said DKW Styling.
Oh, yeah. dkwstyling.com. We have education coming up. This is, if you're listening to this podcast right now, it's your last week to get in. So
Last week to get in for 2019, and it's only the first week of the second quarter.
If you're new to our podcast in general, though, if you go to DKW Styling, like I do 2 podcasts a week. I love fashion, hair. So anyways, that's where I kind of put everything I'm doing is on my blog.
Well done. So
All right.
talk about gratitude on this week's date night, and we'll talk to you guys next week.